Welcome to a new Daily Top Askreddit video. Today's topic.
What's the hardest thing for you to comprehend about the American culture? You Americans seem to have both the smartest and the stupidest humans on earth coexisting in your country. I think that happens everywhere. We're just louder than other countries in the media sphere. Entrée means main course. In the 19th century, when French terms entered the US, the word entrée meant the meal between fish and roast. This usually composed of a lighter meat like lobster or chicken. When America entered the 20th century, they cut out the hardier meals like roast and made lighter meats the focus of the meal. The word entrée carried on to mean the focus of a meal to this day. In Europe, entrée kept its origin of being the beginning of the real meal. America kept the word's place in a meal, while Europe kept the word's actual French meaning. Till. That has always bothered me, but now I'll feel better about it. Having to tip almost everywhere. It definitely makes sense at some places, but feel like we have to tip at the most random of places these days. It's so fucking weird. I was in a souvenir shop the other day where no real service was given. It wasn't even a restaurant. I was literally buying some scented candle or some shit, and sure enough, the lady flipped the screen around for me to sign and there was an automatic 25% tip added. I had to deselect it to move forward and complete the transaction. We can use social pressure to earn more money, is annoying, but it's hardly without precedent. It drives me insane, and my kids think I'm a major boomer. When, almost everywhere you go, they present you with the opportunity to tip. Like there's no service being rendered other than what you're paying for. And they still flip the screen around and ask if you want to pay at 10 or 15 or a 20% tip, and there are multiple steps involved if you want to click no tip. I bought something online recently. I was presented with the option to tip the employees putting the order together. I did not tip them. It'll flip the screen around and ask if you want to pay at 10 or 15 or a 20% tip. I've seen a lot places where the minimum is 18% without having to do a custom tip. I've never seen anything lower than 15% on the quick selection screen. Americans love French fries, cheese, and gravy, but poutine never took off south of the border. Always found that odd. Well, yeah, we have chili cheese fries. I was going to point this out, or chili cheese tots. It's pretty popular in Maine, but we're pretty much Canada anyway. It's also got a lot of fans in Minnesota, which to be fair is also pretty much Canada. You are allowed to drive a car at 16, own guns and sign up for the military at 18. But alcohol, behold the devil's liquid, is only for 21 plus. There's a political history behind the drinking age. It used to be 18 not all that long ago. It used to be up to the states, and technically still is. Some states had a drinking age of 18, some 21, some did something different. Virginia had an age of 19 to buy beer and wine, but 21 for everything else. Then the federal government made federal highway funding contingent on raising the drinking age to 21. So since the early 1980s, every state caved to that financial pressure. Water. Why are Americans so weird about water? I've lived here for 20 plus years and it still makes no sense to me. So many people will drink Coke or juice or Gatorade all day. And if they do drink water, it needs to be ice cold or flavored with Mio or some shit. Like, just drink the fucking water. I've heard people say, oh, I don't like water. The fuck do you mean? Do you also not like breathing air? Do you breathe in Febreze all day? As the only one in the family who drinks water consistently, it's a sugar addiction. Nothing more, nothing less. As far as why we prefer cold water, if you look into it, cold drinks in general suppress taste receptors. So if you have poor quality water, which pre-20th century most of us did, it's going to taste better the colder you can get it. Eventually it just became a cultural preference. Primary water drinker here too. I has forgotten about the cold taste connection, but it now makes sense why I don't care if my water is cold or room temp now, because the water where I live is better than where I grew up. Zero tolerance rule. Who came up with that shit? The victim is the one who is fucked. Either he gets bullied or he gets a penalty for defending himself. Oh, that was so schools don't have to do shit about bullying. Edit. Lotta replies explaining to me that it's so schools don't have liability. I know that. That stops them from doing shit. All it's managed to do is turn the halls of every public school in America into a killing field. To quote my father, look, you're both getting suspended anyway. So if someone starts a fight, you finish it. Quote, that's why if someone attacks you at school, you fight back as hard as possible. If you are getting punished anyway, you might as well earn it. Exactly. You're getting punished either way. Might as well make sure you won't get picked on again. This is a fact. On another note, we had the 3-strike rule. So 3 different kids got in a fight with the gay kid at different times and got him expelled. Hearing the bald eagle screech every time I unwrap a slice of American cheese. American here. Fun fact. That stereotypical screech you commonly hear associated with the bald eagle is actually a red-tailed hawk. Bald eagles do not make that sound. They make more of a weird, way less cool, chirping sound. I was too old when I learned this for the first time. Lobbying, legal bribery, what the hell? Also, why do you have to do your taxes? If the government, in the end, knows if what you paid was what you actually owed, why not just tell you? Funnily enough, both your points are related. There are many things that could be done to make filing taxes much easier. But big companies like H&R Block, who make their money from doing people's taxes for them, have lobbied the government for decades to keep it so complex.